Hi there and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to go over my financial planner with you. Now this was a really interesting one for me to make, so I had to really do a lot of research for this one, and I think I've got something that will make a lot of people happy. So we're going to start here on the dashboard, and this is of course an example one that I've got data filled out so you can see how it works. Now these are showing a 0 at the top because these are relative to today's date, so it'll show you your income, expenses and savings for the current month you're in. So once you start using this in 2026 and filling in the data, it will start populating. This section is your net worth. Now this is cash based, which means it's using your savings versus outstanding debt, because we're not doing property, superannuation or any sort of investments in this tracker. I want this to be really simple. I didn't want to overcomplicate it. This next section is your 3 bills that are due the soonest. So you can see here it'll tell you in how many days they are due. Next is your top 3 savings goals that you're progressing on. It's ordered in closest to being completed, so you can visually see that without going to the savings tab. And this section is a nice little overview of how much you are spending in different categories. So for this one, you've got utilities, groceries, transport, subscriptions and dining out. This just helps you keep an eye on how much you are spending and where your money's going. The next section is in order of lowest to highest amount of debt owing, because the snowballing method, you pay off the debt with the least amount and then move on to slowly snowball your debt. So that will give you the top 3 debts with the lowest amount owing. These 3 down the bottom are just fun visual representations of your data. So here we have a cute little donut chart showing you where your money is going. So it's not just these in numbers, but it's showing you what is actually happening with your information and your spending. Next out is money in versus money out. So this is the money you're bringing in, and then costs. So cost is things you're actually spending on, the transfers you're making to cover your debts as well. And then expenses over time is just so you can see over the year how much you're spending on things, and maybe if you're living above your means. So the big daddy of this spreadsheet is the transactions. So you'll come in here and double click and you can choose the date you want, put in a brief description, you put in the value, and then you choose your category. So if it's an expense, go in and choose one of these categories, and then over here you would choose expense. However, if it's your paycheck, you would choose income, and if you're transferring money to a debt or to a savings, you would choose transfer. And then if it's a debt, you choose your debt, and if it's savings, you choose the savings account. Now all this data is populated from these other spreadsheets, so that's fine. Now this is your yearly overview. This gives you a really quick view of everything at a glance. So you can see how much income you've gotten per month, your expenses, savings, and how much debt you've paid off per month. And that'll give you a net, which is income minus expenses, savings, and debt. And you'll be able to see here how much savings you've put away per month, which I thought was really interesting. And then this is your plans, so how much you want to be spending per category. So you choose your different categories. You can choose if it's frequent, regular, so dining out, fuel, and maybe you have multiple subscriptions, so you don't choose a frequency, but groceries you do every fortnight without fail, utilities you pay every month without fail. So you put in your planned amount, and then this will automatically calculate how much you actually spent and the difference, and whether you're over budget or under budget. Any columns with gray headings you don't want to mess with. These all have formulas in them, so that's why they're grayed out, to give you a visual representation of what columns you need to fill out and what columns you need to leave alone. Now in the savings tracker, you come in here and you put your fund or your goal that you're saving for, how much you plan to contribute to it, and how much you need, and put in your target date for that. It'll tell you how much you have already actually done through the transactions page, and it'll calculate how much it'll take for you to pay it off based on your regular contributions and your target value, and give you an estimated completion, as well as this cute little progress bar. And this will update as well once you've completed it. Next is your debt tracker. Now, because different debts charge interest at different times and different rates, I wasn't able to do that for you, so I'm leaving that up to you to put in an interest rate here. So say you're paying your car off at 6% interest. I can't do a tracker that does all the different types of interest at all the different values without making it a mess. So it's a lot easier for you to just put in your opening balance, how much interest you're paying, your minimum payment amount, and then to update your remaining balance, because obviously how much you paid will not be exactly how much is remaining when you're also charged interest. That's why there's also a last updated column, so you can come back here and update that remaining balance once a month, once every few months, as you pay that debt off. But it will calculate how much you've actually paid on that debt and how much percentage wise that it should be paid off, and that is based on this number here, the remaining balance, because obviously the amount you paid may not reflect how much is actually remaining off of this opening balance depending on your interest rate. And finally, this is just a bill tracking page. So this will be where you put in all your individual bills, how much you're paying for them, how often you're paying for it, and what day of the month they are due. That is what informs this little section here. But also, really interestingly, I decided to make a watch list. So say you have a subscription that you're thinking about cancelling, you can pop it over here and just sit on it and think on it before you decide to cancel. Or maybe you have way more subscriptions than you thought you had, so you can pop one over here and just put in, didn't realize I was still subscribed. I think this is a really interesting way to keep on top of where your money is actually going. And that's everything that is in this spreadsheet. I hope it'll be useful for you. I tried to keep it simple while also giving you enough data to work with. So this will be available in my shop as soon as this video is live. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.